So why did I start with this, right? I started because I think a lot of you don't have a bucket list anymore. I don't know that you ever had a bucket list. I don't know that you actually have dreams, goals, or any aspirations but living in COVID coma as an excuse to not get off the couch and move. So welcome to a new world. It's called the recession. We're in 2022, and I want to talk to you today about how long does it take to become wealthy? So what's interesting about that whole conversation, and it's been a huge, engagement on my channel, how long does it take? I'm gonna say it's up to you. It's up to your goals, your dreams. What do you want? What are you urgent for? See, most of my clients, unfortunately, come with a crisis. My best clients have come with a crisis, unfortunately. I mean, I'll tell you my backstory, and then I'm gonna tell you a bunch of client stories, because I want to inspire you to get with it. I want you to wake up, get out of this coma. I call it COVID coma. It's over. The pandemic is the pandemic, right? You have a life, you have a family, you have a mission, you have something that I think you're supposed to be doing on the planet. You have gifts, you have talents, and a lot of you just sit there. And you've, become very complacent and mediocre. John DeMartini taught me probably one of his greatest lessons. You come as a master, you choose to be mediocre, and a lot of you chose to be even less than that, which means you're doing nothing to contribute to this economy, nothing to contribute to your family. You're just kind of getting by, and you're ripping off everyone sitting on your ass while we're out here like providing our gifts and talents. So what is it that you can do right now? Make a list. What is it that you can do to provide service to other people? How could you help this whole economy move, make your community move, your family move? What are some big dreams and goals you have that you want to achieve? So mine started with just an inspiration at 17 years old. I got the book Think and Grow Rich. I was at a seminar. Dennis Waitley said, run to the front of the stage. I ran, got this amazing book, Think and Grow Rich, and said, interesting. I grew up in a farm in Nebraska, so I didn't learn about money. And just like most of you, you didn't learn about money either. Most of, I say, that era, until just recently, no one still talks about money. Like it's some evil thing to do. Money you deal with every day. 10 to 20 transactions happen a day from if you're driving somewhere, you paid for gas, you paid for a vehicle, you have insurance, you have registration, you have a phone, you have a computer, you have maybe mortgage or a rent, you have utilities, you have clothes, you have food. This is just basics. And it's money. So who's taught you about money? So I just gave you 3 big questions. What do you want? What's your gift and talent? What's your services? Right? That could really serve other people. Are you willing to have this conversation about money? So when I answer the question, how long does it take to become wealthy? How much do you want it? Is really what I'm looking for. See, the critical moment for me, because I was on a path, but I'd say it was pretty casual because I was also making a lot of money. I was spending a lot of money. I was skiing, I was playing, I was hanging out, and I was 33 years old and I got pregnant with my son, Logan. So that was a pretty urgent, critical moment that I then finally did what most of you are resisting doing, and I called another mentor. Not that I hadn't spent money on mentors. I had spent hundreds of thousands by that time on mentors. More personal development, linguistics, NLP, sales training, all those kinds of things. But I hired the one guy that I was like, all right, I'm gonna go for it. $25,000, and I said, it's time. Teach me real estate at the level you know it. You're a multi-millionaire, you're in many states. And he said, meet me in Oklahoma City. And I'm like, Oklahoma City? Did you just hear? Hello? Did you just hear what I said? He said, you want to learn my way? We're learning my way, not your way. I'm going to come back to that in a moment because a lot of you want to learn how to get wealthy and become a millionaire your way, not the way I'm going to teach you, and then we argue about it. I think I have a few clues. So fast forward, I flew to Oklahoma City, and I had been working on the Rich Dad Poor Dad brand. It was the master distributor of the cash flow game. And I had a bunch of database. I knew how to have a database. Bob Proctor had taught me that. Other mentors had taught me that. A lot of the folks that I was in the secret with taught me that. We all had good databases. We were collaborating with each other on databases. We were doing a lot together. So I knew how to do those parts, but I didn't know how to really go buy, raise capital, and really arbitrage and get into real estate big. So we started with some little fourplexes, 16, 8s. We actually bought an entire street in Oklahoma City. We moved out to Norman, Oklahoma, and then we started getting bigger units. So within 6 months, as a collective team, raised $16 million, had bought tons of real estate, and I was a net worth millionaire by my 34th birthday in June in 1999. So that was my millionaire year. Had my son Logan, and again, I lived in Sausalito, California, and again, my mentor said, so how much is it gonna cost to do this single mom thing that you're insistent about doing? And I said, don't know. He said, figure it out. And I said, well, to live where I wanna live, do what I want, travel what I want, take him where I want, and have a nanny and have somebody to support and bring in a tribe. It's going to be about $40,000 a month. And he said, good, we'll go for 50 or 60. So then we started doing real estate tours. We started bringing people around, showing what I just did, how quickly I became a millionaire. And I used all the history of my rich dad, poor dad connections. My point in telling you this story is it wasn't a crisis, but it was an incident. And see, in a lot of you wait for your incident to occur before it gets serious. And a lot of times it's too late. Now, I had a lot in place, but I had to sequence right, which is what I write about in The Millionaire Maker. It's probably my defining work. Do the right thing at the right time, you'll get rich faster. But if you don't do the right thing at the right time and you keep you in your head, and some of you have odd things that you talk about. And I'm going to speak to a few clients who are having some resistance right now saying, oh, I want my money back. I don't want to do what you say, Loral, because you're worried about debt. Are you kidding? The only reason you're in debt is because you overlived the amount of money you know how to make. So getting out of debt and recycling your debt is not the problem. Or it's not even the answer. Your answer is learn how to make more money so you can live the life you want. So you outlived your paychecks, put the rest of your life on a credit card, and here you are, $30,000, $40,000 of debt, not my problem. It's yours. You didn't learn how to make any money. It didn't come sooner. So now you're in a crisis. So I'll take your panic, but I'm going to transition your panic into creativity, into inspiration. Like, what do you want? If you can't answer the question, back to the bucket list, what do you want and why do you want it? Then it's tough to begin because we have to anchor to that. And for me, I was going to be an amazing mom. I was going to be an amazing single mom, and I was going to do it differently. I was going to be very engaged with my son. It was just he and I for almost 7 years. His first little business was 4 years old. I was doing things most people had never mentored me to do. I just kind of knew intuitively. We set goals at 3 years old. We had businesses at 4 years old. Using money differently. We traveled around the world. We would have different bags of money from different countries. When money was just money, it was just something to buy things. The more things you wanted to buy, the bigger life you want, the more money you need to make. It was just a theme that we grew up with. See, a lot of you don't have any of that. You have a crisis going, and you have some old school thinking going, and it's why you can't get moving.